Hi everybody, I'm Jeff from Missouri Wind and Solar. Today I want to show you how to use your clothes dryer to help heat and cool your home. Okay, you ever wonder what really happens when you turn on your clothes dryer in your house? Exactly where it's getting its air from. Now the moment you turn on the clothes dryer, this is the exhaust. You're exhausting hot air outside. You ever really think about where a clothes dryer gets its air from? I mean, it has to intake air to exhaust air. Well, I can kind of show you where it's getting it from. Around all of your doors and windows. We'll say this is the summertime. Every crack around your window and door is going to leak. Now, this is the intake on the dryer, we'll say. The dryer has to suck in air from in the house before it can exhaust. When you turn the clothes dryer on in the summertime, it's going to pull in hot air from outside around every window and door crack in your house. Now, here's something else that's going on with your house. In the summertime, up in your attic, the temperature up there can easily reach 120 degrees. Now, where is all of that heat going? Well, people put in roof vents, all different types, to release that heat. And a lot of the heat in the summertime from your attic is transmitted right down into your house, causing your air conditioner to run a lot more. Not only are you pulling in all the hot air from outside around every window and door crack, but you also got all of this heat buildup in your attic. 120 degrees easily up there. It's coming through your ceiling, causing your air conditioner to run overtime. Now I'm going to show you how to cure that problem. So I've come up with a way to get your clothes dryer to draw its intake air from someplace else, and this is what I've done, and I'm going to show you how to do it. This is basically a pipe that goes up into the attic. And now you're drawing the hot air, this is the intake, into the dryer. You're now going to pull in all of the hot air into the intake of the dryer, which, by the way, 120 degree hot air going into a dryer is awesome for heating. Your heating element probably won't turn on. But guess what else is going to go on here? Now that we're pulling the air in from the attic, we reverse the flow outdoors, and we're pulling in much cooler air from outside in through our vents, reducing the temperature up in the attic. We'll just use a number to 80 degrees. The heat that was being transferred from the ceiling down into your house, causing your air conditioner to run a lot, has now stopped. I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, all of the hot air outdoors that was being sucked in through your windows and door, around every crack, every nook, that's going to stop. Okay, you can pick this up in any local lumber yard. First, you want to pick up some 6-inch diameter, 5-foot length duck sleeves. And this is insulation. You notice how it's silver? Okay. A 6-inch galvanized elbow, some 6-inch pipe. Now I got a total of about 8 feet, but you'll have to determine how many feet of this you're going to need. Now this is the very important part. You'll need some aluminum foil tape. Now you'll find this where there's ductwork in a lumber yard, and this is what it looks like. It's actually aluminum foil, and it's used for taping up the joints in ductwork in your house. And then you'll need some 6-inch rings, whether it be galvanized or like this black stovepipe ring. This will work too. A few self-tapping screws, and we're ready to start. Now, I told you we're going to take and put a 6-inch pipe from this dryer up into your attic. Well, the whole trick to this dryer pulling the air out of your attic only works if all of the cracks are sealed in your dryer. We want this dryer to pull all of its intake air through the 6-inch pipe out of your attic. And the way to do that, here's where the aluminum tape comes in. The crack along the top of the dryer here, you want to put the tape on it and start sealing the cracks. Doesn't look that bad. And this tape rips pretty easily. I'll get it turned around to do the back side. There we go. On the back side, here's a large hole here that'll suck in air from your house. All of these small holes and these cracks, so we're going to get all of these sealed up. Now remember, if you don't do this, this project is not going to work. Now, a lot of the cracks around your dryer lid on the sides, if you don't want this stuff on there and showing, you can get some silicone and put it in a gun or just a little tube of it and squirt a film or a bead of silicone in the cracks. We're almost done. I think I got everything I can see on the top side. This tape will come off. Okay, everything that we can see I've gotten on the top side. Now I'm going to flip it over on its back and see what we've got underneath. On this dryer, this here is where most all of our air intake is going to be. So we've got to seal this up. Okay, I think I've got it all sealed up. Now we'll get her flipped back over. Get to work on the pipe. Okay, now we're ready to put in the 6-inch pipe. This dryer is designed to vent out either side for exhaust, so there's a knockout on it on both sides. You can exhaust this out the rear or out the left or the right. So I'm just going to choose this side for the heck of it. Now the rings that I bought, these are your templates. These are 6-inch rings. So let's get my ring on there, Sharpie. There you go. That's going to be my 6-inch opening. So now I'll get this knocked out, that cut out, and we'll get the elbow in next. Now this is an old dryer, and I tell you, this is tough steel on this, but the newer dryers, they're like paper thin. If you don't have a knockout on the side of a newer dryer, take a screwdriver and a hammer, punch you a few holes, and you'll get a place to start with your tin snips. Well, I'm going to get this knocked out. I've got a pair of tin snips and a hammer. That's all you need. Now I'm just going to take my tin snips, cut on out to my ring, and this will be a whole lot easier to get this hole cut out. If you don't, you're going to have a hard time getting around this circle. So just cut you a bunch of tabs. Man, this is tough old steel. I don't want these pieces fall into the dryer. Make sure you inspect it, that you haven't cut any wire. This is very sharp. Sweet. Okay, nothing's in the way. We're ready to put in our elbow. Okay, we got our elbow. This is what you need to do. You got your crimped end. We don't want to, don't cut that. Cut this end. And just say come in 1 inch with a felt marker. Just roll it all the way around. Just keep your hands steady. That's 6-inch galvanized. Not very expensive. Okay, we're done with that. Now, what you want to do is cut your tabs all the way around. You make your tabs about 1 inch apiece, about 1 inch wide. Okay, all of the tabs are cut, and they're about 1 inch apiece. Now this is the next step. Take every other tab and bend it out, every other tab. Bend it out all the way around. Now you probably want to wear a pair of leather gloves for this. Okay, now we're done with the tabs. Now get your elbow set where it's pointing straight up. Get it all adjusted before you go stuffing it in the hole. Okay, now there's 2 things you can do here. See this ring? Before you bend these tabs up, you can slide the ring on, so in the end, this ring will slide back down and cover these tabs up if you want to do that. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we got our tabs bent. Get it into the hole. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now here's the deal. You got to reach inside and bend every one of those tabs up to where they're coming up on the inside, and that locks the whole thing in place. Okay, got my tabs bent up on the inside. Check it out. Tough as hell. That's not going to fall out of there. Now, like I said, to trim this up, you could have had this ring on and slid it down over top of these. Looks kind of sweet. So instead, I'm going to cover them up with aluminum tape. This is just for my video, though. You can do something different at your house if you're worried about aesthetics. Well, there you go. It's all taped on. Pretty good seal. Now, that's not going to get knocked out, I can guarantee that. But if you're really worried about it, take a couple of self-tapping screws. And I guarantee you this is never going to come out of there. Permanito, buddy. Okay, as you'll notice, the pipe swivels around a lot, and that's going to make it very difficult to put on your sections to go up into the attic. So just take some of your aluminum tape, make sure this is angled pretty straight up, and to stop this pipe from moving, just put this stuff over your joints. Okay, now get our first section on down there. I'm going to put the long section on first. You probably could use some help doing this, but I got to do it alone. Okay, what I want to do is get my pipe level on here to where it looks pretty good. That looks pretty good right there. That way, and I'll get some tape on the joint. Now I'm going to level the other side here. Make sure it's fairly close. Well, there you go. We got the first piece on. This is really nice and tight and stable. Now you got to go up through the attic. And this is the way to do it. Just take your level, set on the side of your pipe, go straight up to the ceiling, make a mark, and then hold your level on the other side, go to the ceiling, make a mark. Now, take one of your rings, go up to the ceiling, put your ring on those marks, draw you a circle up there on the ceiling. Now, you probably have a drywall ceiling, and the way to get through that drywall is with a drywall saw. This is a drywall saw. Now, these are pretty inexpensive, and you can see how jagged the teeth are, and the tip is pointed. And the reason for that is you put it up against the drywall, take the palm of your hand, and give it a punch, and you drive it through the drywall. Just start sawing around that circle that you've got up there, and it only take a minute. Okay, you've got your pipe up into the attic, and I'll draw a little diagram. There's something else I want you to do up there. Slide this ring over your pipe, and once you get the pipe up into the attic and bring it back down on these ribs, just slide this nice looking ring all the way up to the ceiling, and that'll hide your cut in the drywall. Okay, here we are. This is our living space down here. Here is the ceiling, and that's the drywall. Now this is the 6-inch pipe. Take it up into the attic through the insulation and go about a foot above the rafter. You don't want to leave this pipe down too close to the insulation and be sucking any of that junk down in the house. And I'll show you a little bit later what we're going to do with the top of this pipe. But go about a foot above the rafter. And it's important, use galvanized pipe. I don't suggest using black pipe. If it rusts up, you probably don't want to use that. Anyway, 6-inch galvanized pipe. Now this is what I found at Lumberyard. 6-inch diameter, 5-foot length, duck sleeves. And it's just duck insulation. Now this is why you have to use this. If you leave this galvanized pipe the way it is, as it's sucking in air out of the attic in the winter time, the cold air coming out of that attic through this pipe will cause this pipe to sweat. Okay, we don't want it to sweat at all, and that's what's going to happen if you don't insulate this. So we're just going to wrap the pipe from the elbow up to the ceiling, and that's it. Got the sleeve out of the package. It's just aluminum foil. Stuff is like fireproof. And it's one piece all the way around. It's just one tube, and there's the fiberglass insulation. I suggest if you have any trouble getting this on the pipe, just take your scissors, cut a length down through it, wrap it around the pipe, use your aluminum tape to tape up the seam. That's the easy way. Yeah, I'm not really having any trouble getting this insulation on. Pretty much just slid right on real nice. There you go, I'm done. Continue this to the ceiling. Now when you bring down your other piece of insulation on top of this one, just take your aluminum tape and go all the way around the seam. Now this pipe stays up in your attic year-round, never comes out. Now, up in your attic, some people may worry about a little fiberglass insulation floating in the air, and here is the fix for that if you're worried about it. What I bought was 4 furnace filters. Now these things were 90 cents a piece. 14 by 20 by 1 inch. I bought 4 of them. Very cheap filters. And I bought one 14 by 14 by 1. Very common size. Just 1 inch thick. And what we're going to do is make a filter for up in the attic with these things. I'll show you how we'll do it. It's making a pretty cool box. Okay, there you go. That's how she looks. Okay, so the 14 by 14 by 1, that's your lid. I'm just going to kind of center it on the top. You can see how this looks. And go ahead and get that tape down too. I'm making sure that tape overlaps tape on the corners. There you go. There you go. This cost you less than $5. One hell of a filter. I'll show you the inside. Okay. Now can you see the inside of this? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is finish taping off all of this exposed cardboard. I'm going to tape this off, tie it all together. Okay, so I'm tying the entire box together with aluminum tape. I'm making sure it overlaps itself everywhere. So there's no need now to ever worry about this cardboard box coming apart up in the attic. That is going to stay together forever. Now this is the pipe that has went through the attic, or up into the attic, and it's went through the insulation. We'll say the insulation is down there. Just take the box, pick it up, set it down over the pipe, and there you go. Permanent filter. You don't have to worry about it. And if you're worried about anything ever crawling into this, it's no real different than a mouse getting inside your dryer. But you could take some rabbit cage wire if you wanted to and just put over the top of this. Now, when this filter goes over the pipe, you do not want to restrict the flow, the intake. So do not put anything like a stocking over the top of this pipe. Just some 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch rabbit wire if you want to, but I wouldn't even bother if it was myself. Okay, now I showed you how to help your cooling bill in the summertime. Reducing that hot air in your attic and using it to dry clothes with will definitely drop your electric bill. You'll notice that your air conditioner is not running anywhere near as much. You'll be bringing fresh outdoor air into the attic all the time. Now, this is for year-round. For heating your house in the wintertime, you can hook up my indoor lint bucket that I made, and I will leave a link down below the video so you can go see how to make the lint bucket. This is for wintertime use. You hook a flexible pipe from the dryer over to the lint bucket and run the exhaust from the dryer, the hot air, into the house in the wintertime only. And this bucket is filled halfway up with water to catch all of the lint, and it works. I'll link down below and I'll show you how to add on the lint bucket for the wintertime. That's using your dryer to heat your house in the winter and using your dryer to cool your house, to help cool your house in the summertime. Well, I'm Jeff from Missouri Wind and Solar, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.